Okay. What's up, everybody, and welcome to my Wrestle Dynasty review. And man, I gotta say, this was one hell of a show. Obviously, this is the second day in the Tokyo Dome. Yesterday was Wrestle Kingdom in the Tokyo Dome. I did watch that show. I got a review up for it right now. Check that out online. I didn't watch Wrestle Kingdom live, given how late the start time was, so I technically watched it earlier in the morning and whatnot once the show was over when I woke up. So I did catch that earlier, but luckily Wrestle Dynasty came on a little bit earlier tonight. Now Wrestle Dynasty is a co-promotion show between New Japan, ROH, AEW, and CMLL. Then technically AEW and ROH is basically the same thing anyways because it's under the same promotion. But all these promotions got together to put this show on tonight in the Tokyo Dome. But honestly, I would literally call it Forbidden Door 2.0 because it was literally a lot of AEW versus New Japan on here. That's literally what this was. This was Forbidden Door 2.0, except this was actually in Japan and it was in the Tokyo Dome. So with a big weekend for New Japan going on right now, a lot to say, and I really did enjoy this show because I think the show started like about 9:30 over here, given my start time over here in America. So that's really a good thing to go off on because it's better than just waiting until like 2-3 a.m. to watch the show. I honestly was gonna watch it tomorrow, but I'm like, given how kind of early it ended too, I'm wide awake. Let's do this thing. This is the review for Wrestle Dynasty. So that early start time definitely helped. But let's get right into it with the kickoff matches. Then there was a fatal 4-way for the International Women's Cup. Athena, the Ring of Honor Women's Champion. Momo Watanabe representing Stardom, of course. Persephone representing CMLL. And Willow Nightingale representing AEW. Then again, both Willow and Athena are representing AEW, but, ROH. So there you go. I did enjoy this match. Obviously, it was a lot of rapid-fire moves out there. Athena hitting the O-Face, formerly known as the Eclipse, on the Willow looked really good out there. And I really was enjoying this match. The finish, though, I guess whoever Momo Watanabe was with, Decla, she ended up pulling the referee out of the ring. And then, I guess Watanabe hit Athena literally in the face with a baseball bat, straight across the damn skull. And then just hit like a suplex bridge for the 3 count, which, I'm sorry, let's be honest, if anybody swung a baseball bat to like someone's face, legit, it would probably kill them. Or, just severely injure them so bad that they be in a damn coma damn near in an instant KO. So I thought that was kind of crazy that it was just a baseball bat to the face and then you just do another move. Like, you could have just won right there after you're hitting somebody in the face with a baseball bat, okay? That would have killed somebody. So the match literally would have been over. What was the point of even doing another move? I was actually surprised Athena was pinned right here, but I guess Athena does have a match coming up in Stardom. So I guess she's going to be putting her title on the line against Watanabe. I'm not sure, but I think she may be on another show in Japan soon enough. So I guess there's a feud right there that's going to keep going on right now. But it was a good pre-show match other than, I would say the finish. But I did enjoy it for what it was. Next was the Ring of Honor tag titles on the line. Dustin Rhodes and Sammy Guevara, the Sons of Texas, versus House of Torture, Sho, and Yoshinobu Kanemaru. I don't really got much to say about this match. It was a good match. The crowd seemed to be into it. It was, like I said, it was a pre-show match. Dustin Rhodes hasn't really been in Japan, or I guess the Tokyo Dome itself, since, I think they said, 1992, when he actually teamed with Dusty Rhodes, his dad. So he's been in Japan before and wrestled the Tokyo Dome, but it's been a really long time since he's been there. So good for Dustin Rhodes being on this card in general, especially, I guess, how long it's been since he's been in Japan. So good for him. But obviously Dustin Rhodes and Sammy end up retaining the Ring of Honor tag titles. I don't think those belts were ever going anywhere anyway. So that's all I can really say about that. Next was an 8-man gauntlet match between New Japan and CMLL. Some would say this works like the Casino Battle Royale. I know they had Hechicero in there, which I know everybody's supposed to be a junior heavyweight in this match, but Hechicero, it doesn't really even, I don't even think he is a junior heavyweight. So, but he's in this match though, so okay. But you had Kosei Fujita in there, Mascara Dorada, I think Sobrano Jr., Teton, Taji Ishimori, which Desperado was the last one to come out. like I said, I know it's a lot of moves being hit here and there, so I'm not going to try to call everything in this match. But when Desperado came out, obviously he's the new IWGP Junior Heavyweight Champion. Basically won the title due to, Doki injuring himself at Wrestle Kingdom, which he had to forfeit the title. So that was still unfortunate what happened at Wrestle Kingdom yesterday with that match. But it's like everybody's just looking at Desperado as he's headed to the ring to enter, and they all just go after him and just start jumping him in and throw him in the ring, and everybody's damn near hitting a move on him then, which, the crowd was just kind of just going in about it. And so everybody started going back against each other. It ended up with Ishimori end up pinning, well, he stole the pin. I think he stole the pin from Fujita, because, Fujita hit his finish on him, and then Ishimori just came in and ended up pinning Desperado and winning the match, so I guess he may be getting a title shot soon, but, like I said, the match was good. The crowd seemed to like it a lot, so it seemed to be good out there. Like I said, I don't have really much to say about this match because I don't really know who half of the CMLL guys are anyways, and this is like a casino gauntlet battle royale where everybody enters, and I guess whoever gets the pin gets the win from there, but Ishimori obviously will get a junior heavyweight title shot soon, so we'll see what happens with that. Next was a special singles match, or I should say an exhibition match that was going to go on for 5 minutes with Katsuri Shibata and Hiroshi Tanahashi. Obviously, 2 of the 3 Musketeers. My friend Shaggy said all you need was Nakamura out there too, and you got all 3 Musketeers back together. But this was a chop fest. Like I said, it wasn't really a match. It was a chop fest. That's all they did. They really chopped each other's chests red until they were just bright red and looked like hamburger meat. Okay, so they didn't really do a lot out here. They just kind of just chopped the hell out of each other. Shibata, this is the first time he's even back in, I guess I should just say, Wrestle Kingdom himself. I know he's signed to AEW nowadays. I think he hasn't had a match since they said, Wrestle Kingdom 16, which he ended up actually doing a match, if I'm not mistaken. It was supposed to be just a catch wrestling rules match with, I think Ren Narita, but he said, just F all that. We just going to do a regular match then. And, I've seen him what he's done in AEW. So, like I said, he's not doing the hard-hitting style like he is in New Japan, because we all know what happened to Shibata a few years ago. And a lot of people thought this man's career was over if you go back and look at the match with Okada in the headbutt. Look that up, folks. But, obviously, they just kind of kept it safe out here, basic. I think they said they're going to go back one more time at some point in the future. Obviously, this is Tanahashi's last year in, pro wrestling. I know he's the president of New Japan, but as an in-ring competitor after this year, he's going to retire. So I think they will run that back with a regular match at some point in time in the future. But they just kept it basic and chopped the hell out of each other. Which, like I said, they don't want to go too heavy out there. And, Shibata's injuries and even Tana's himself, they kind of took it easy out here. So it's not much I can really say about this match other than it was a chop fest. Next, the New Japan Strong Women's Championship and the Undisputed British Women's Championship, or the Rev Pro Women's Championship title was on the line. Mercedes Moné versus Mina Shirakawa. The only thing I've known about this match was that this match was made a few weeks ago back at Strong Style Evolved, and I know they said they were going to put the gold on the line, both of them. I know they had that horrible dance-off that was very cringe, just for multiple kind of reasons, and neither one looked good coming out of that. Honestly, most of this match was Mina Shirakawa just taking out Mercedes Moné, getting most of the offense on her, focusing on Mercedes' knee, just beating the hell out of her knee out there. I'll say that. Like I said, this was actually a really good match. There's one thing I say about Mercedes Moné. When it comes to her matches with New Japan, they're way better than what I see than what she does on AEW. From an in-ring perspective, yes, she is really good. Everything else is mostly bad if you want to look at the presentation and promos of her time in AEW. But when it comes to what she does in New Japan from an in-ring standpoint, it's usually really good, and this was really good itself too, out here too. But like I said, obviously it was just Mina just dominating throughout most of this match until, Mercedes ended up fighting back and, end up hitting that horrible moneymaker finish for the win. But, one thing you can say about this show is that you're going to see a lot of more titles on AEW. You think AEW's got enough title belts right now? get ready for more. So Mercedes Moné basically won this match. So now she has the TBS title, the New Japan Strong Women's title, and now the Rev Pro Women's title, which it was 2 belts out there. So I guess it was an undisputed thing, but it's basically 1 belt, but it's 2. So technically Mercedes has 4 titles now. Like I said, you're going to get more title belts on AEW. Like I said, Takeshita just won the international title the night before a Wrestle Kingdom from Shingo. So now he's a double champion. Now you done gave Mercedes 4 belts now, technically. So it's technically 3, but she's got 4 titles. But it's 3 because it's an undisputed title. But I don't know. Like I said, it was a really good match, but do I really need to see more title belts on AEW right now? They got enough title belts as it is, and when you count the regular ones they got, and the Ring of Honor ones, or any other promotion, New Japan, or some CMLL belt, they're just going to add it. So we see enough belts on AEW, but let's bring in more for some reason. And trust me, I'm sure a lot of people are going to say, it doesn't work for me, brother, or it doesn't work for me, sister. I don't think it's some creative control to this. Maybe, I don't know, but it looks like every time Mercedes has one match, she just ends up winning another title somehow, whether it be a debut or not. But like I said, she's got 4 belts now, but this was a really good match, though. I enjoyed it. Next was David Finlay versus Brody King. Obviously, David Finlay lost the IWGP Global Championship last night to Yota Tsuji at Wrestle Kingdom. And Brody King was very dominant throughout this match, beating the hell out of Finlay, just cross-bodying him into the barricade and everything, throwing him around, which even Ghetto had to kind of even tell Finlay, get the fuck up several times, get up, and the fight back. And yeah, like I said, man, Finlay, man, him with them power bombs, man. He really be hitting power bombs of dominators out there half the time, which is crazy. But these guys did beat the hell out of each other and whatnot. But like I said, Finlay just ended up fighting back after Brody was kind of dominating most of the match, and he ended up getting like a big power bomb on him, and then he ended up hitting overkill for the win. So I almost thought Brody King was actually going to get the win right here, but I kind of figured Finlay was going to win because he wasn't going to just lose, both back-to-back nights. He wasn't going to take 2 losses and whatnot, unless they were going to go part of like some losing streak storyline or something. But like I say, he lost the title last night, but he got his win back here tonight at Wrestle Dynasty. So no 2 losses for him. Right after that, Shota Umino Shooter went against Claudio Castagnoli. Shooter obviously did his whole motorcycle entrance again the day before, like at Wrestle Kingdom. But as he was headed down the entrance ramp, Claudio ended up attacking from behind. Obviously, this feud is now kind of with the Death Riders. I guess Shooter wanted a match with Moxley, but obviously Moxley is focused on being the AEW World Champion right now, and now kidnapping the Rock and Roll Express on Collision for whatever reason they got going on with the feud with Edge. But let's not get to that right now. I guess Moxley is now sending his Death Rider underlings now to go after Shooter and see what they're going to do to him. This was a good match. Claudio, sharpshooter, of course, spinning him around and everything. A lot of elbows going back here and there. He did end up hitting the Ricola Bomb just for a big near fall. He tried to go for the neutralizer and hit him with an uppercut after that. But Shooter was able to get out of it, ended up hitting the Death Rider for the win. So Shooter obviously getting a win back right here after losing the main event of Wrestle Kingdom. So I kind of figured he was going to get a win from here. But obviously, even after the match, I guess Claudio was going to shake his hand, but just not middle finger him, but just kind of give him like the elbow and stuff and whatnot, and just kind of like, hey, here you go, next time and whatnot. But I think at some point throughout many months, it's going to end up with more of the Death Riders possibly coming to NJPW until Mox comes down there himself. Or it could be a match of Forbidden Door with Mox and Shooter coming down the line. I'm just saying, I know it's a long way from that right now, but hey, it could happen here, it could happen at Dominion, it could happen on any New Japan show, depending who shows up either way. Maybe Shooter shows up on AEW, maybe Mox shows up on New Japan like he's done before. Hey, man was the IWGP World Champion not that long ago, so he could pop up again, okay? But, yeah, obviously, since like I said, Mox and them are dealing with AEW right now. He ended up just sending Claudio and I guess to teach Shooter a lesson, but Shooter got the win right here, so this is going to continue at some point. I know New Japan obviously showed a lot of dates for upcoming U.S. shows coming in America for New Japan. Obviously, Windy City Riot is coming back to Chicago. I'm probably going to go to that show because it's going to be Hiroshi Tanahashi's last match in America. So I may just go to that in April when it happens. So don't know when tickets will be on sale. But hey, I went to the last Windy City Riot show. So I may go to this one too. Especially now that I know that is going to be Tana's last time wrestling in America. So I think I may check that out. The only time I've ever actually seen Hiroshi Tanahashi wrestle live was the first Forbidden Door with AEW when he went against Moxley for the AEW World title. So I did enjoy that match, and that was probably the only other time I've ever seen Tanahashi wrestle in person. So hey, I may just do it again since it's going to be his last time wrestling in America. So we'll see what happens with that when we get to it. Next, Konosuke Takeshita went against Tomohiro Ishii for the Never Openweight Championship and the AEW International Championship. Don Callis was out there with Takeshita. Thought he would have been on commentary, but this was one hell of a match. And just like with Shingo last night at Wrestle Kingdom, this was going to be another hard-hitting, just brawl, balls to the wall match right here. And these guys were just hitting heavy moves on each other. They were just strikes, just big suplexes. Obviously, like the big Falcon Arrow off the top rope. Ishii with the headbutts and whatnot. Poison Ranas and stuff. These guys were just hitting each other with big elbow strikes, multiple suplexes. So, you know what you were going to get out of this match, okay? Just like with Shingo and Takeshita, you got it here again with Takeshita and Ishii. So, one hell of a match. Ishii did what he did, kept fighting back, hitting the Enziguri and whatnot, but Takeshita hit him with another big forearm, hit him with the, the spinning Falcon Arrow, and retained both the Never Openweight and AEW International titles. Crowd was really into this match, okay? They were really into this match. Definitely enjoyed it. So, obviously, Takeshita was going to retain right here. So, great match overall. Definitely one of my matches of the night. Definitely one of the matches I really did enjoy. Next was the IWGP Tag Team titles on the line. The vacant IWGP Tag Team titles. Now, at first, this was going to be Great Khan and Hanare versus the Young Bucks for the tag titles, but Hanare got injured, so he was going to have a mystery opponent. Now, it ended up being Jeff Cobb because they ended up saying it yesterday at Wrestle Kingdom on commentary. I actually thought it was going to be Will Ospreay for some reason, but I don't think Ospreay's going to be sticking around in Japan like that. But it ended up being Jeff Cobb. It's the United Empire. They've been the tag team champions before. But then the match actually got changed at the last second yesterday, and now LIJ got involved. So Naito and Hiromu Takahashi were involved in this match, and they did win the World Tag League, folks, so it makes sense. So I'm thinking to myself, like, okay, it's a triple threat tag team title match, so obviously somebody from New Japan is going to retain, get these tag team titles, and they're going to remain on soil. Rocky Romero ended up joining the commentary table at this point. The Young Bucks obviously actually came out to their old NJPW music, and all I could just say is this was just a wild tag team match out here. Let me say this too. Naito actually moved out here better than what he did yesterday at Wrestle Kingdom. And listen, I know everybody's going to talk about Naito's knees and whatnot. I thought he looked good out here. I didn't think he looked that bad. I know a lot of people didn't really like what happened yesterday. I know I've already talked about it in the Wrestle Kingdom review about Naito's legs. I'm sorry, not even his legs, but his knees being shot out there and his vision. And we talked about the injuries and everything. But I thought he did look better out here than what he did yesterday. I still stand by what I said that Naito needs to kind of take off for a minute, but he didn't look bad out here. I'll say that. But this was just a wild tag team match, just triple threat all over the place. Then again, you probably would have think this is just a regular Young Bucks match in general. So if you've seen one Young Bucks match, you've seen them all, and you know how this is gonna go. But the most questionable thing out of this match was actually the Young Bucks winning the tag team title. So let me get this straight right here. So The Young Bucks, who have not competed in New Japan Pro Wrestling in over 5 or 6 years now, when AEW was first formed, and they were the champions at the time, and they ended up dropping those tag titles back in 2019, and they haven't been back since. Okay, so here's another thing too. Not even IWGP tag titles, but first off, we got more belts coming to AEW. So we got more belts, folks. More belts. Why do we need them on AEW? Why? Why do we even need to take the IWGP tag titles? And another thing too, the Young Bucks were just tag team champions a few months ago when they were the AEW tag team champions, and they dropped on the private party, and then they just end up leaving saying like, we're going home because we don't want to deal with the Death Riders taking over. So it's like the minute they dropped those tag titles, they disappeared off of AEW television, and now they only pop up on New Japan, and now they're the tag team champions? So I'm guess they're going to bring the IWGP tag titles to AEW now? Like, I don't understand this. And like I said before, so let's look at the count now. AEW has now gained about, let's see how many not tag titles, but how many belts have they now gained after New Japan tonight? So we got the Never Openweight Championship. You got the Rev Pro title. Even though that's not a New Japan belt, it's still another belt in general. And now you got the IWGP tag titles now. Okay, why? Honestly, I almost thought LIJ was going to win this right here. I'm like, well, hell, they won World Tag League. You might as well give it to them. But like I said, I know they had the singles match with Naito and Hiromu yesterday. I still think the entrance looked kind of funny, given Naito's in his suit and Hiromu's in his giant mascot. I don't even know what he was dressed as. I didn't know he was dressed as yesterday. I don't know what he was dressed as today coming out there. But crazy entrance, though. But I either would have thought the United Empire would have got the win, but they ended up just hitting the Meltzer driver on Great O'Khan, and they got the win from there. But did they really need to win the tag titles? Do we need more belts in AEW? Like, seriously, do we? Like, why do we need more belts? I don't get it. And they just had tag titles a few months ago, dropped them, and now won some more tag belts at another company. So, crazy, am I right? I don't know. So, the match was the match, though. So, just a wild tag team match. But, hey, you already know how Young Bucks matches go. Next was the IWGP Global Championship on the line. Yota Tsuji versus Jack Perry. I don't really have much to say about this match. This was good. Come on, Tsuji was going to win anyways. He just won the title last night. So, I don't really have much to say about this. Okay? Listen, Jack Perry's been in New Japan before. We already know that. House of Torture and all that stuff. But, yeah, he wasn't going to beat Yota and bring... Like I said, I don't think AEW's about to bring another title back to... Yeah, they're not going to bring another title back to AEW, okay? They're not bringing another New Japan belt. But, like I said, the match was what it was. It went like, 12, 13 minutes out there. So, it was what it was, and Tsuji got the win. So, like I said, I don't really got much to say about this. Okay, so he won from here. Now, next, we get to the match of the night. Some are already saying a match of the year contender right now. But I got to say, this was the best match of the night. This was one hell of a match. Kenny Omega, Gabe Kidd. Kenny Omega has not wrestled in over a year due to him being injured and having diverticulitis. And I'm sure he's had surgery on his stomach and everything now. But he is now healthy enough to come back and wrestle. Now, a lot of people question, why was he coming back to New Japan first? Because him with the comments saying AEW doesn't need him right now, which is really crazy to say, because AEW kind of needs anything right now, because they're really not in good shape nowadays. And I was very surprised to even hear about Kenny Omega coming back to New Japan. Like, seriously, like, this is where he's coming back first, and not AEW? I know he's going to be on AEW. Wait, we know he's back in AEW now, but I thought it was really questionable. He ended up coming back to New Japan and even having a match at Wrestle Dynasty in the Tokyo Dome. And I was like, okay, let's see where this is going to go. But it just was really questionable at the time. Like, he came back to New Japan first. So, this is his first match back and over the year. And both of these guys had some big entrances out there. Uh, Gabe Kidd representing New Japan. Obviously, he's representing Bullet Club, but he had the NJPW logo on, on one side of his tights also. So he was, representing New Japan, just to the fullest. Kenny Omega having like a cool entrance out there too, One Wing Angel stuff and all that. I think somebody said like it was like some Final Fantasy music out there, but it was a cool entrance nonetheless. And like I said, one thing I'll say about Kenny Omega is this: when he's in New Japan, this is when he is at his best. This is when I like Kenny Omega the most. In AEW, it's been very critical to what you've seen over there and what he's done. But when he's in New Japan, it just fits like a glove. Like, it's right when he's in New Japan, and hell, he's at the Tokyo Dome too, so he's about to go all out. And both of these guys went all out right here. These guys beat the hell out of each other. This was a brutal, gritty match. And Chris Charlton, man, he was really going to AEW out there on commentary throughout the entire night, every time there was like an AEW New Japan thing going on. Because one thing, the crowd was on Gabe Kidd's side. It's like Gabe Kidd won the crowd over in this match. Because don't get me wrong, people were still with Kenny, but they were really with Gabe Kidd. They were chanting his name throughout the match, and these guys were just beating the hell out of each other, which, at one point, they even went over the barricade that Kenny Omega, like power bombing Gabe Kidd through like a table over the barricade, which, I know they had AEW referee out there, Bryce Rensburg, and like I said, Chris Charlton was just going at, look at this, we got an AEW referee out here. Of course, he's trying to end the match, but Kenny wanted to keep going. And like I said, this match is going on. I know Kenny did a big dive to the outside of the ring, landing on like several people, like the War Dogs and all that. These guys were ended up fighting outside the ring then. You got dragon suplexes. Kenny trying to go for a power bomb, but Gabe Kidd got out of it. And actually ended up putting ended up putting Kenny through a table. I know that was pretty crazy too. But what was I'm trying to remember like the most important stuff out this match, because his thing when Omega in a power bomb and power bombing Gabe Kidd through that table, he ended up bleeding. So I know he kind of ended up just blading his head and everything, but yeah, he ended up bleeding from there. At one point, like I said, they ended up fighting back into the ring then, and even having chairs out there being damn near thrown in the ring, hitting each other with chairs after that. Gabe Kidd trying to wipe the blood from his forehead and everything. I know they ended up getting another table involved and whatnot. And basically, Kidd did like a brain buster through the table, like the half of the table, because the table was already broke, because they already went through the table, but he brain busted him to like the side of the table that looked like the hard part of it almost. And here's the thing, like, Kidd got up, he broke the table a little bit more, and just, like, took the wooden part and smashed it over Kenny's head, which he just bled heavily. And I'm like, this guy was bleeding buckets out there, okay? And they threw chairs in the ring then, and then they start chair shots to the head, which I know a lot of people aren't really the biggest fans of nowadays, because, like I said, those chair shots to the head look pretty brutal. At least Gabe Kidd did put his hands up before taking the chair shots to the head, but like I said, they start striking each other back and forth. Kenny's coming back with, V-triggers and whatnot, but Gabe Kidd still put him down with a big clothesline then. Omega hit another V-trigger and tried to go for the One Wing Angel, but he ended up selling, his abdomen because of the whole diverticulitis and whatnot. And Kidd even got him with a submission abdominal stretch. And like I said, the crowd is with Gabe Kidd after this, and making a fighting out of it. He tried to keep hitting with clotheslines in. Kidd's no selling it out there. Even hitting a big pile driver. 2 pile drivers, I damn near want to say. But, Omega got out of it then. Hit a Hurricane Rana, just slammed him into the mat then, which looked brutal. Kidd got another pile driver on him then. But Kenny put his foot on the ropes after that at the last moment. And this match is already going past 30 minutes now. Like I said, this match has gone past 30 minutes out there. Omega came back with another V-trigger in after that. Hit him with a big power bomb and another knee strike, but still Kidd got out of it then. And Gabe Kidd just ended up flipping off Kenny Omega then while kneeling like, come on, do it. Omega hit another V-trigger, hit the One Wing Angel, and got the win and beat Gabe Kidd right here. This was a hell of a match. this was when the crowd was at its loudest throughout the whole night. Like, the crowd just went crazy for both of these guys. This was a star-making performance for Gabe Kidd. I know Gabe Kidd's been doing a lot of great over there in New Japan right now, but this was like his moment. This was his big star-making moment right here to go against Kenny Omega. And I feel like they're going to run this back at some point in the next few months. I feel like this match may happen again in Forbidden Door. Could happen in Dominion. I don't know, but Gabe Kidd really did earn the respect from the crowd out here. Hell, like, the match, like I said, was so great. Hiroshi Tanahashi was in tears. Tana was in tears watching this match. And I think if you go look up online, you know, probably on Twitter or something with New Japan posting it, I think Tanahashi had said on commentary, you know, in Japanese, saying that this kid is the future or something. Like this man is the future, Gabe Kidd. So Tana had tears in his eyes just watching this match. I guess how emotional and how great it was. Just seeing Kenny Omega in general, I guess, you know, wrestling him. Like, come on, these guys main evented each other a few years ago back at Wrestle Kingdom for the IWGP World title before, you know, Kenny left to go form AEW and whatnot. So, like, you know, the matches him and Kenny has done in the past, and just Gabe Kidd, like, I'm sure he's, like, you know, like he just out now has a newfound respect for Gabe Kidd right now too. So Tana was in tears after this match, okay? He was in tears, all right? So this match was this was great, man. This was just great all around the board. Match of the year contender. I don't care what anybody says about this, but this was a hell of a match. I enjoyed this. Even if you don't really like that New Japan style and whatnot, this was insane. This was brutal. Kenny, man, just coming back after a whole year being off the shelf due to diverticulitis. Like I said before, at the beginning of this match for the review, he is at his best when he is in New Japan. Okay? Kenny is at his best when he is in New Japan. So, hell of a match right here. In a way, I kind of feel sorry for Zack Sabre Jr. and Ricochet to follow this, because there was no following this. Honestly, I'm going to sound crazy for saying this, Kenny and Gabe Kidd probably should have been the main event of this show. That's how great this match was. This should have been the main event of this show. Like seriously. So, hell of a match, man. Crazy. You got the president of New Japan in tears after watching this. So, that's how much Tana loved this match that it had him in tears. So, it was crazy. But in the main event, we did get Zack Sabre Jr. versus Ricochet for the IWGP World title. Like I said, hard match to follow. Well, one thing I will say, they probably should add some video packages before leading into a lot of these matches, because I know New Japan does this a lot, especially for, I guess for Wrestle Kingdom this time, but, you know, as soon as the match ends, another one starts, so you don't really get a lot of video packages of letting up and breathe. They kind of barely did that yesterday. They only had a video package for, like, Zack and, you know, Shooter, but they usually kind of have video packages for leading to the big matches on the card and whatnot, but they didn't really do that this time. They just kind of kept like, okay, match over, next match, next match, next match. That's usually what AEW does all the time, but New Japan doesn't, and I know they do it, but they don't do it as often as they did tonight here. But like I said, this was the main event. This was for the IWGP World title. This was a good match. Obviously, you know, they talked about Ricochet and everything after what he did to Swerve last Wednesday on Dynamite. And hell, even when this match even began, like, Ricochet already dived out of the ring before Zack could even get in the ring. And he was just taking him out there. Zack didn't even get his jacket off yet. And Ricochet was just going for him. Like I said, I did enjoy this match. Obviously, more submission, mat-based style versus high flying right here. Oh, damn near Ospreay versus Zack Sabre Jr. again, damn near. But it's Ricochet this time. You know, Ricochet, he hasn't had a match in New Japan since, like, before he left to go to WWE, I guess, what was it, 2015, 16, I think? I don't know, but he definitely went in here. He really was taking it to ZSJ. I did like the double suplex thing where he did it on the apron and then kind of rolled to the floor and did another one on Zack Sabre Jr. That was crazy that Zack barely could even get there before the damn 20 count out there. And like I said, both of these guys are slapping the hell out of each other and stuff. And even, I like what Zack says, yo, this is Japan and stuff. But like I said, these guys are just going back and forth at it. Ricochet, you know, still trying to hit that spirit blast and everything. But Zack ended up, you know, just stopping Ricochet several times, put him into like multiple submissions and whatnot. Even Ricochet going for a shooting star, but Zack got out of the way. Damn near, and it was a near fall. Ricochet tried, say he was ready to end this, and he ended up kicking, like, booting Zack Sabre Jr.'s head, like, just booted him, like, right in his forehead and whatnot, and just kind of came back with like another near fall. He tried to go for the 630, but Zack got out of the way. He had a PK on him, hit the Zack driver, but still another near fall in. Ricochet and Zack ended up battling back then, just trading punches and stuff. He tried to go for, like, his spirit gun finisher. It's basically a flying clothesline. It's nothing much to really say. It's almost like a reverse hidden blade, like how Ospreay does when you really think about it. But basically, Zack stopped him, and he ended up, like, hooking both of his arms into a submission, and ended up Ricochet just saying he gives up. So basically a tap out, but verbal submission. Listen, Ricochet was never going to win the IWGP World title to begin with. I'm honestly surprised this match was even named to be the main event of Wrestle Dynasty when I figured this out a few months ago. I'm like, this is who we got sent to New Japan? I knew it was going to be a really good match, but it's like, this is who you really got to send for AEW to go against the IWGP World Champion in Wrestle Dynasty? Like, Ricochet. Like, seriously, because at the time I was like, this is who we sending over here, but I guess, okay, Ricochet's heel now and all that, so they're really trying to play to that right here for the Tokyo Dome and stuff, but come on, he was never going to beat Zack, okay? But still, they had a hard act to follow. Following the Omega Kid match, that was really tough to follow. Like, the crowd was still with it, but they weren't really with it like they were the match before. But yeah, Zack Sabre Jr. ended up still retaining the IWGP World title. He ended up getting on the mic after. He spoke in Japanese. He spoke in English because, there's a lot of English-speaking fans out there tonight. A lot of people traveled to come to this show. And he basically talked about how TMDK will be on top of New Japan for a very long time, and that the mighty don't kneel, and that was a great weekend in the Tokyo Dome and all that, just for Wrestle Kingdom and Wrestle Dynasty. And hell, they got one more night. New Year's Dash is going to be tomorrow, Monday and everything. Basically, that's like their night after Wrestle Kingdom, but I guess after Wrestle Kingdom in Dynasty now, so we'll see what happens. But, like, overall, I thought this was a really fun show. It's literally Forbidden Door 2.0. I gotta say, I was wide awake for this, so I really did enjoy this a little bit better than Wrestle Kingdom, but overall, both shows were really good. But hey, I did enjoy this whole co-faction thing, but co-promotional show, but it's basically Forbidden Door 2.0, okay? But obviously, Kenny Omega and Gabe Kidd was the match of the night. I would probably give it to Takeshita and Ishii next after that. The main event was good. A lot of title changes, I say, which, like I said before, throughout this review, AEW just gained more titles for no reason. We got enough title belts on AEW as it is already, but hey, let's bring in more. So, international title, never open weight, IWGP tag belts, Rev Pro women's title, why not? It's not like we got enough title belts in AEW right now. Let's add some more. So, yeah. But yeah, other than that, though, it was a good show. Like I said, it was a really good show, and I definitely enjoyed basically a majority of the matches. But like I said, Gabe Kidd, Kenny Omega, match of the night. People are already saying a match of the year contender right now. You got to put it up there. So definitely agree. So like I said, I enjoyed a lot of stuff though. Finley, Brody King, even Shooter and Claudio, but. Like I said, you already know who your match of the night was going to be for this show. And I'm kind of glad it ended off a little bit earlier, too. So, I feel like I didn't have to stay up too late to watch this show either. And like I said, I'm wide awake anyway. So, hell, why not review the show and everything right now? But, hell of a show, though. So, New Japan, obviously on their biggest weekend right now throughout the entire year. This is usually like their mania, especially when it comes to Wrestle Kingdom. But, Dynasty was a hell of a show. But, other than that, comment, subscribe. Follow me on Twitter, @HoodandKnight890. Check out the Wrestle Kingdom 19 review, which is uploaded online right now. And, yeah, I'm out of here. I'll see you guys then. And peace. Hey, I may even come back for a New Year's Dash review. I don't know. We'll see what happens. Could be a lot of surprises going on there, okay? But I'm out of here. See y'all then. Peace out.